Hi everyone, my name is Jess Rinker and I am the author of Out of Time, Lost on the Titanic, which probably looks backwards to you right now. And I'm going to read to you the first few chapters just to give you a little taste of what the book is about. And you can see on the cover there is the Titanic. Okay. Chapter 1, Saturday Stranger. The last thing Allie and Vic Taylor wanted to do on a Saturday morning was clean, but they helped their parents in their shop anyway, just like they did every weekend. The out-of-time antique store on the corner of 3rd and Spruce in Philadelphia was the family business, and the whole family kept it running. Allie polished a silver tea set while Vic dusted off an old violin. Their black and white puppy, Luna, who was very good for petting but not so good at fetching, walked all around the store. She wound around their legs and under the table and licked Allie's feet. Allie laughed while keeping her eyes on the little silver cup in her hands as she cleaned it. Mom had warned her to be very careful with this set. Mom was hoping to find the teapot to go with it, but Allie hadn't found it in the pile of stuff yet. While she worked, Luna's sweet brown eyes and wiggly tail were begging Allie to take her out. "Vic, can you take Luna for her walk?" Allie asked. As much as she loved Luna, she had been the one to take her out the last 3 times, and they were supposed to take turns. "You take her. I'm doing an important job and can't be interrupted," said Vic. Allie sighed and set down the cup. Big brothers were so bossy, even when they were only 1 year older. Allie reached for Luna's leash, but just as she did, the little bell on the door chimed. Here's a picture of Allie and Vic. All the antiques. So the little bell just chimed. A customer? They hadn't had a customer all week. But it was only Vic's best friend, Max. "Hi, Vic," Max said. "Want to go to the park?" "He can't," said Allie. "He's doing a very important job and can't be interrupted." Vic crossed his arms and shook his head. Allie gave him a sweet smile. Luna barked at them both. Max laughed. "Whose side are you on?" Vic asked Max. "Luna's," he said, grinning. Max sat on the floor and patted Luna to settle her down. "What's the important job?" "Mom had a doctor appointment and Dad had to run to the store for parts for our furnace. It stopped working again last night," Vic said. "So we're helping them clean up their latest load of..." Allie waved her hand toward the table overflowing with objects of all sizes and colors. "Junk?" Max asked. "Don't let them hear you say that," Vic said. "They're hoping something in here will be worth a lot of money," Allie said. She wasn't sure how an old bowl or a teapot could be worth enough to replace their furnace or take care of any problem in their building. But she hoped her parents were right. The last thing she wanted to do was move out of their home, which was right above the shop. She had lived there her whole life, and she loved walking to school and the park and the sandwich shop around the corner. Allie couldn't imagine ever living anywhere else. But she'd overheard her parents many times talking about how hard it was to afford living there. She'd do anything she could do to help, even Saturday morning chores. And there's the 3 kids looking at all the stuff. "I'll help," Max offered, giving Luna one last belly rub. "It'll get done quicker, and then we can all go to the park." Vix handed Max a rag and some polish. "If you say so." Luna lay down in a huff under the table. "Sorry, girl," Allie said. "We'll go out soon, I promise." Just as they got back to work, the bell on the door chimed again. This time it was a real customer. Luna barked and barked. It had been a long time since a stranger had walked through that door. Vic held her collar so she wouldn't jump on the only customer they'd had in days. The woman was tall and had long brown hair done up in a style unlike anything Allie had ever seen before. She wore a purple dress, a green cloak, and tall black boots, and she had a red bag strapped around her waist. But what really stood out were her honey-colored eyes. Something about the woman was familiar, but Allie couldn't quite figure it out. "Can we help you?" Allie asked. "I'm looking for Allison and Victor Taylor," the woman said. She had an accent that none of the kids recognized. "Do you know them?" I'm Victor, but everyone calls me Vic, and this is my sister Allie. Do you mean you want to talk to our parents?" "No," the woman said. A large smile spread across her face. "I came to see you two." "And you," she pointed at Max. "Me?" Max said. "Why me?" Because this involves all three of you and your futures. My name is Juniper. I have something important to give you." But before she could finish explaining, Luna began barking and lunging at her all over again. "Luna, quiet," Vic said. "Sorry, she's not usually like this." He tried to hold on to her, but Luna pulled away from Vic's hands and jumped right up on the woman, nearly knocking her over. Something round and glowing fell from the woman's hands with a loud thunk. It jingled as it rolled across the floor. All three kids grabbed for it, but no one could move quicker than Luna. She gobbled up the glowing ball in one gulp. Okay, chapter 2 is called The Infinity Spinner. "Luna!" Vic yelled. "No!" "It's too late," Allie said. She tried to look in Luna's mouth. "She swallowed it." "Hey, at least Luna fetched," said Max. "Fetching usually involves bringing the ball back," Juniper said. Allie couldn't tell if she was angry or making a joke, but she looked worried. Here's all of them right there. Here's Juniper back here. "Excuse me, ma'am, but what was that thing?" asked Allie. She imagined all kinds of bad things happening to Luna. "It was glowing. It's not going to explode, is it?" She wrapped her arms around her dog. No, Juniper sighed as if she saw this sort of thing every day. "Nothing of the sort. Luna will be just fine." "I don't think it's good for her to swallow anything whole," Vic said. "We should probably take her to the VET." He had to spell it because Luna hated going to the veterinarian, and she'd run and hide if she heard him say the word out loud. "Good idea," said Juniper, "because we need that infinity spinner back. The sooner the better. I have a lot to teach you." Allie looked at Vic, who looked at Max. "What's an infinity spinner?" Max asked. "And will it do something bad to Luna?" Allie asked. "It won't do anything, at least not on its own. It's kind of like a GPS that works in time and space," Juniper said, "but it can't fall into the wrong hands." She looked at Luna. "Or stomachs." Juniper must have been able to tell that Allie wasn't believing any of this because she said, "I know it sounds crazy, but your future depends on us getting that spinner back." "What is that supposed to mean?" Vic asked. "I will explain everything once the vet—" "Shh," Vic said. "She knows that word." He covered Luna's ears with his hands. "I'll explain everything once the VET helps Luna, I promise, but we don't have any time to waste." So they run to the, I'm going to sum this up a little bit. They run to the vet's office, and while they're on the way, Luna starts running around and spinning in circles. They're trying to catch her, and they're all over the streets. And they finally catch up. And Luna runs into a man dressed in a very unusual way with a shiny metallic cloak. And he comes back later in the story. But when they catch up to her, they have to sneak up on Luna to try to catch her because Luna doesn't want to go to the vet. So right now, they're getting ready to sneak up on her. She started spinning her tail, and they snuck up on Luna as she spun 5 times, happily playing with her own tail like it was the first time she'd ever seen it. But just as Vic was about to grab her, they were blinded by a flash of light, and then the 3 of them were lifted off their feet, and everything seemed to spin. The last thing Allie heard was Juniper yelling, "Wait!" And when the flash of light was gone and the spinning stopped, Allie rubbed her eyes. They were no longer standing on a sidewalk in the city. They were in the middle of the ocean on the deck of a very large ship. And you can probably guess what that ship might be. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to Gotham Reads for more of your favorite children's books read aloud daily.